You know, when I was going through Elder Ardern's talk, Love Thy Neighbor, this one part, well, it really struck me. He describes this scene in rural Uganda, and wow, it's so vivid, so real. You can practically feel the dust, like between your teeth.
It's incredible, isn't it, how he, like, brings you right there. The image of the cattle, I mean, they were more bone than flesh, really. Just paints a picture of the struggles they face every day
Mhm.
and those mothers walking for miles just for water.
It's hard to even imagine.
It really is.
And you mentioned in your notes that it goes deeper than just those physical needs, though. What really resonated with you there?
I think it's how Elder Ardern talks about those, how do you put it, the unseen wounds, that discouragement, that despair. It reminds us that compassion, true compassion, it's about the whole person,
Yeah.
you know, not just the stuff we can see.
It's about their spirit. It's interesting, though, because even with all those hardships, he describes this gathering place, not a fancy building or anything, just some shade under trees, and there's this feeling of faith there, of love for God. It's almost like a paradox.
I was struck by that too. It made me think about how so often it's when things are hardest that faith, it shines the brightest. There's a resilience there that just, I don't know, it's humbling and inspiring at the same time.
Definitely. So we see the need in Uganda, but what's the solution? You highlighted a key point in your notes about working together, about partnership.
Yes. He talks about how the church is collaborating with other groups like UNICEF and the Ugandan Ministry of Health, for example.
Hmm.
And it's interesting, he doesn't just talk about partnership like it's efficient, though it is. He talks about it like it embodies the shared responsibility we have,
Hmm.
that's inherent in Christian teachings, right? It's not just getting things done, it's about doing them together, like it's a reflection of our shared humanity.
It's like that whole idea of love thy neighbor, right? It's not just like a suggestion, it's a call to action.
Totally.
Yeah.
And to really emphasize that, Elder Ardern, he brings in some really powerful examples, like, for example, the parable of the Good Samaritan.
Which, just in case anyone needs a refresher, that's the one about helping those in need, you know? Doesn't matter who they are or where they come from.
Exactly. And it's smart, right? He uses this story. Everyone knows it helps make this connection
Yeah.
between what we believe and what we actually do. He's saying it's not enough to just believe, we got to act on it.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to walk the walk.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he doesn't stop there. He brings in examples from Christ's life, too. All those incredible miracles, the healings.
There are many.
It's interesting, though, it's how he connects those to this bigger idea of compassion. He says compassion is an attribute of Christ. It is born of love for others and knows no boundaries. He's telling us it's not just about physical help. It's about, I don't know, recognizing that everyone has worth.
Yeah.
Everyone deserves dignity.
Seeing them, really seeing them.
Yes. And speaking of seeing people for who they are, there's that story he tells about the little boy with his lunch, offering it to Jesus.
Oh, yeah, the loaves and fishes, classic story.
Right. Such a good example of how even something small, a little generosity, it can have this ripple effect.
I love that story. And I think that's such an important message because it's easy to, I don't know, feel overwhelmed, right, by all the need out there. But he's reminding us we all have something to give. Even if it seems small, it's like, what is it they say? Don't despise small beginnings or something like that.
Right.
But Elder Ardern, he takes it even further. It's not just about, the size of the act, but the heart behind it.
Exactly. And he doesn't limit it either. He quotes Joseph Smith talking about helping those in need. And get this, he says, whether in this church or any other or in no church at all. That really got me thinking, this isn't about like converting people. It's about human connection.
It's about compassion. He even talks about, how the people in Uganda responded to getting this help and their gratitude. It wasn't just about like the food or the water. It was about, about being seen, being cared for.
Yeah, it speaks to that need we all have,
Yeah.
to connect with each other. And it shows how powerful compassion is. No matter how big or small, it can, it can build bridges between people, between cultures,
Yeah.
even.
That's powerful stuff.
Hmm.
As we've been, talking about all this, one thing that's really stuck with me is how Elder Ardern makes this point. Compassion doesn't mean you have to, personally know the person who needs help.
Yeah.
It's about, recognizing we're all connected, we're all human, and then acting on that.
It's about empathy,
Yeah,
putting it into action.
exactly.
This deep dive, I think it's given us a lot to think about. Elder Ardern's message, it challenges us to look outward, to really see the needs around us,
Mhm.
and then, find ways to meet those needs in big ways and small ways.
It makes you want to do something
Yeah.
to make a difference.
Right. And I think maybe the most important thing, he reminds us we're not alone in this. We can all make a difference together.
That's a great takeaway. So, to our listener, as you go about your day, we'll leave you with this. What act of compassion will you choose today? How can you, in your own way, be a light for someone else?